Hi again, everyone. This video is sponsored by contribution from Dean, and here's his story. Man, thank you. Thank you, Ollie. For 28 years, I thought I was crazy. I went to therapists, read tons of books, but the penny dropped when I watched your videos. You're the best on YouTube. You are very real, and I like your no holds barred, no bullshit way of talking. Very real. Others are too wishy washy and aren't straight enough. I hate fluff. I only by accident discovered, or fate, from an acquaintance what a narc was. 7 days later, I feel healed for the first time in my entire life. I actually feel like a new person. I hope all works out eventually with your daughter, and in some ways feel like we could be the same person the way you speak. Thanks again. I know not a large donation. I haven't ever sent a donation on PayPal, but just wanted to drop you a line and say thank you, thank you, thank you. I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was a problem. I was the problem, but now everything makes sense. The funny thing is, the first few days felt like I was even crazier after learning about this, but today is the day I feel like a complete new person. My sleep pattern has changed, my outlook on life, everything. I wanted to ask you, you don't have to do it in a video, or you could, or we'll leave that to you. But I would like to find out if there is a connection between army, war, and the amount of narcs out there. All the ones I know have all served, and I wonder if this is suppression. This dogma drilled into them makes them worse and suppress their emotions. Coming from South Africa and the entire Anglo-Boer War, ooh, South Africa, and the concentration camps in South Africa, then apartheid, which to me is nothing more than the previous oppressors now taking their losses out on others, and the Bush border wars. Now this new shit government we have, I noticed there are way more narcs among the white population there. Look, from what I know of South Africa, and I've only seen it in recent documentaries, it has turned into a absolute shithole, like just a crime-ridden shithole since the ending of apartheid. And apartheid, for those who don't know, was they used to segregate the whites and the blacks, and that was a terrible thing. The only problem is, once it ended, South Africa has turned into an absolute crime-ridden fucking. It is a shithole. I mean, I've seen the documentaries on it. It is an overblown. It is crazy what is going on there. I'm surprised you're even still there. Um, Now, look, as far as military, if you've been following my recent videos about socially controlled narcissism, how I believe narcissism has been used as a weapon to socially engineer the newer generations, okay, by making our newer generations narcissistic and making it a me first society. Like, this has been being pushed on us since the 60s. Now, in organizations such as the military, you know, they are homing beacons for narcissism, much like police officers are homing beacons for narcissism, or politicians. Any any profession that gives power over society, over groups in society as a whole, is always going to be a homing beacon for narcissism. Does that mean we do away with our militaries? No. And police? No. But you still have to realize who are the people who are joining, who are becoming cops, who are going into the military, making lifelong commitments to the military, who are only doing it for the power and the authority and the control it gives them. It's not so much the military itself. The narcissist is drawn to these type of organizations for the control, the power, the weaponry, the force to be able to to force people to do things, to make people to do things by force, using up to and using death if necessary. It's like every single white South African I met has them in all their families. Combine that with their very old Calvinistic Protestant religion, and it's like a weapon of mass destruction. Everyone is a loose cannon. It seems as if wars, any form of oppression, just seems to perpetuate this and make it even worse. I also think where you have many different cultures mixing, there seems to be this narc tendency. And could this be a spiritual thing, i.e., sins of the father passed down? I don't know. Is that all I know is that I got more from your videos than 2 months of counseling. I had to move from my country at the age of 19. I figured. I figured. And no, I don't think it's anything. It's a spiritual thing. It's a revenge thing. You called it. It's a revenge for slavery, for white privilege. That's what's been pushed out there by the worldwide left, by the mainstream media, by the New World Order. White people are the problem and they need to be punished. And this is what they want. They wanted chaos. They wanted chaos in the world. It's not a spiritual thing. It's people who have had everything taken away from them, especially in your country, and the crime is out of control, and the cities are crumbling, and now people are becoming narcissistic out of self-preservation in that sense. In your country, in South Africa, I think that's what, and that's how it's designed, because you almost have to be just to survive in a place like that. I've seen the documentaries. They can't even answer like EMS can't even go on medical calls because they'll literally steal the wheels and all the medical equipment off the ambulance the second they get to a call. It's like that in Detroit too. But that's what's going on all over South Africa. It's that level of crime and despair, and the cities are literally crumbling. I always thought it was because of the lack of prospects, crime, and everything going on there, but am of the firm conclusion it was self-preservation. I did it on a subconscious level. Exactly. I was beaten as a kid, often for things I never did. I was verbally abused, mocked, tortured by a younger brother who was always perfect. I always gave, but never got a thanks. I was told I'm crazy, always causing problems. I had learning difficulties as a child and wonder if there's a link between learning disabilities and narcs. Only in that a narcissist doesn't want to be inconvenienced. And a child with any type of learning disability who doesn't get it, who needs any type of attention, special help, is going to be labeled a problem. There's not a link in that they create children with learning disabilities, but they don't deal with children with learning disabilities because it's all about them, because they don't want to be inconvenienced. They want you to be seen and not heard, and only seen when they want to see you. I believe these people can actually program your future and your reality by continued mocks, taunts, and accusing you of being a problem. I knew deep down I am not a bad person, but always found myself in shit, fights, etc. But knew this wasn't me, and didn't know where it was coming from. After watching the videos, I felt peace, the turmoil running beneath me from the years of accusations, name-calling, telling me how I am, when in reality I was nothing like that, but simply programmed. I was always scared of success. Seemed like every time I was too happy, I would be pulled down. In fact, last year I went home for 6 weeks, but left after 2 weeks because my mother in the kitchen literally cornered me, telling me how I think I'm better than them, that life is better where I am, and all this guilt-ridden bullshit. This actually came about thinking about it now. Because I used my card to go buy goods for them that side, and didn't ask them to buy my plane ticket. It's like she lost control of me and didn't like it. She's also living in a country that's crumbling as well. Remember the self-preservation. She sees you doing well. She's still stuck there, and it's pure jealousy. And she's lashing out of her own self-preservation in a way, because that's what she's used to doing. Turns out I now have realized that I have been scared to succeed because my father would leech off me. My mother would say I'm arrogant, and both would force me to help my brother. I have cut off all communication with my father. In 14 years, he never phoned me when I called him. He was always too busy. Mom was always really happy when I was down in the dumps or when I missed everyone. Brother never so much ever thanked me for anything I did or got for him, nor any calls, communication, asking how I am. It seems I was always giving materially to try to win their support. Thanks so much for your channel. I hope all works out for you. You have helped tons of people in the past week, and I have told people to have to look out at your channel, to have a look at your channel. Thanks, peace and prosperity to you, Ollie. All the best for 2017. You hit the nail on the head with Trump. I personally think he is or could be one of the best presidents you guys ever have, but you know the tallest trees always get the wind. They are gunning for him, and he has the balls to do what needs to be done, and political correctness, in my opinion, is a form of narcissism. Of course it is. And political correctness is exactly what led to South Africa. Telling what you can say, what you can't say, and the conditions people and conditions people how to think, which will eventually lead people to rebel and act out in an even worse way. Nothing can withstand pressure for too long before it explodes. The media is the #1 cause of racial tension in this world, and your video hit the nail on the head with their tactics. Divide and conquer. Again, a little back and forth with the email on different subjects. My main point was to say thank you, thank you, thank you. All your pain has not been in vain. Your strength to do this has helped more people than you will ever know. All the best. Take care. Dean. Well, thank you, Dean. I really appreciate all the compliments. I really do, and I'm glad my channel's helping you so much. So, just to wrap up on your situation, you know, you grew up basically in a country under apartheid, in turmoil. Everything changed after apartheid ended, and the entire country, the economy, the safety of South Africa absolutely imploded. You couple that with a narcissistic family, and what it seems like is when you talked about the narcissism that you're seeing in the white families in South Africa, okay, I think what you saw is a situation where the economy and everything has been so run down and the situation is so helpless there that everybody's just given up, and it's just become all this me, 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 me. So now everybody is taking on the mentality that crashed South Africa to begin with, which is what you saw and recognized, and why you had to get out before you even knew what narcissism was. Something told you like, I'll never succeed here. This is getting bad and it's only going to get worse. I got to go. I got to go. And now your mother, it's like you, the rich guy, as she's seeing it, now you think you're better than ever because you were smart enough to get the hell out of there. Throwing it in your face, just like the narcissist always does. They want to shit on your success because in her mind, when you didn't need the plane ticket and then you went and bought things, she thinks you're shoving that in her face. Why? Because if the shoe was on the other foot and she was the one visiting you with all the money, that's how she would do it. You got to remember, Dean, the narcissist is always going to assign their intent to you. The narcissist always assigns their intent to you. And that's really what you got to keep in mind of why all this happened, and a lot of what's going on in South Africa as well. So thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you for your story, and just letting me know how much you enjoyed the channel and how much it's helped. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any advice or opinions in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, or a narcissist you'd like to expose, or you'd like to set up a private Skype chat, or have a private video made, you know what to do with the PayPal and my email link in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon. Bye, everybody.